Kate sat at her small kitchen table, staring at the 6 numbers on her phone. 3, 16, 12, 21, 9, 30, she whispered. She checked again, then again. The numbers still matched. Her hands shook. This can't be real. She breathed in, breathed out, and pressed her palms flat on the table. Outside, the street was quiet. Inside, her mind was loud. She had won $47 million. After taxes, it would still be more money than she had ever imagined. But one thought made her calm. I won't tell anyone, she said. Not yet. All day, she replayed old memories that hurt. The time Jack borrowed thousands and never paid back. The time Lily promised to return her wedding help and never did. The roof loan to Dad, then photos from Cancun. She thought about Mom's advice. The lottery is a tax on people who can't do math. She heard Dad's lectures about saving 6 months' expenses. She heard the teasing from everyone. Still, every Friday, she bought tickets. Hope was small, but she had held on. Now hope was real money. And still she felt alone with the secret. At work, Kate's ideas often became Mr. Gray's great strategies. Dan slipped out early. She stayed late. Nice work on the client save, Mr. Gray said that week in a meeting. He did not say her name. She kept her face neutral. After the meeting, she told herself the same thing as always. Just keep going. Now, with the winning ticket locked in a folder, going back to normal felt strange. But she knew sudden change would invite questions. Slow, she told herself. Plan first. She visited a lawyer downtown. Mr. Clark had kind eyes and careful words. You can claim through a trust, he explained. We'll keep your name private. We'll also build a team, tax, investments, estate planning. He folded his hands. The biggest mistake is telling too many people too soon. Kate nodded. I don't want this to ruin my life, she said. Then we'll set guardrails, he replied. And you'll take your time. They made a list. They made a plan. When she left his office, she felt steady. 2 weeks later, the money was real, accounts, documents, passwords, plans. But her Corolla still rattled in the rain. She still clocked in. She still ate noodles on quiet nights. The secret felt heavy. She thought about her family and felt a knot in her chest. Would they be happy for me? Or would they see a wallet? She asked herself. She decided to test them first. Not with money given, but with help needed. It would be simple, the same story to each person, the same number. She would ask for $5,000. That night, she told Nina on the balcony. I want to see who stands with me, Kate said. Nina looked worried. Sounds like a trap, Nina said softly. Why not just talk to them? Kate shook her head. Talking turns into lectures. Or guilt. Or silence. Nina sighed. Then be careful, she said. And be ready to feel hurt. Kate nodded. I already am. She called Mom first. Hi, Mom. I have bad news, she said, voice tight. She told a simple story. Company closed suddenly, unpaid wages, medical tests, rent due. I just need help to bridge the gap, about $5,000, she said. There was a long pause. Oh, honey, Mary said. Mark and I just put a down payment on a lake house. We're cash poor. Maybe your dad? Or ask Lily. Paul does well. Kate swallowed. Okay. Please let me know. I'll talk to Mark, Mom said. No promises. She met Dad for coffee. After she spoke, he folded his arms. Kate, I taught you financial responsibility, John said. Where is your 6-month fund? She kept her voice calm. Life happened. Medical bills, the car. He lectured for 20 minutes about budgets and choices. He never offered help. Sarah and I are focusing on retirement, he finished. This will be a good lesson. Kate nodded. Thanks for meeting me, Dad. Her coffee had gone cold. She drove to Lily's neat suburban house. Oh my gosh, Lily said, eyes wide. That's awful. For a minute, Kate felt hope. Then Lily glanced away. This is a bad time. New car. The kids' tuition. Bathroom remodel. Paul is strict about our budget. She squeezed Kate's hand. Maybe a small amount? Or you could move in, once we clear the guest room. Kate smiled politely. Thanks. I'll manage. When she left, She felt the door close behind her twice, once for the house, once for the heart. She texted Jack, her brother. She sent the same careful story. He replied, "That sucks, sis. Tight here too. Call later." He didn't call. He didn't answer. Her calls went to voicemail. She remembered the shaking voice he used whenever he needed money. She remembered saying yes anyway. She put her phone down and stared at the wall until her eyes stung. Sarah, her stepmom, was blunt. "We can't help, Kate," she said. "Have you tried downsizing? Getting a roommate?" Kate mentioned the vacation cabin repair she had helped with. "That was different," Sarah snapped. "Family property." Mark, her stepdad, was colder. "You are not my child," he said. "Choose a better career next time." Kate ended both calls quietly. She sat on the edge of her bed and pressed her fingers to her temples until the room felt still again. Cousin Ryan sounded warm at first. "Absolutely, we'll help," he said. "Lunch tomorrow. I'll bring a check." An hour before lunch, he texted, "Emergency. Rain check." Then he stopped replying. Aunt Helen phoned next. "I always said your company looked unstable," she said. "You should have taken that bank job." That evening, Kate heard Helen had already told others Kate was begging for handouts. The word burned. She wrote it in her notebook and underlined it once. 7 people had dodged, lectured, or vanished. Then her phone rang. "Kate? It's Aunt Anne. Are you okay?" And hadn't even been asked yet. She had only heard through the family. "Please meet me for lunch," Anne said. "My treat." At the diner, and listened more than she spoke. "I can help some," Anne said, and slid an envelope across the table. 3,000. "It's not 5, but it's yours." Kate stared. "I can't take this," she whispered. "You need it." And shook her head. "Family helps family. And my couch pulls out. Stay as long as you need." After lunch, Kate learned more. And had diabetes costs rising, and a small savings. The gift was almost everything Anne had. That night, Kate made tea and asked Anne to come by. "I need to tell you the truth," Kate said. "I didn't lose my job. I tested everyone." Anne was quiet, then nodded. "I'm not angry," she said. "I'm sad you felt you had to test. But I understand." Kate took a breath. "There's more. I won the lottery. 4 to 7 million. Anne's eyes widened, then softened. "Oh, Kate." And held her hand. "Money shows people. It shows us, too," she said. She told Kate about an old inheritance and an ex who stole it. "I learned the hard way," Anne said. "Some people see you as a resource, not a person." Kate wiped her eyes. "You were the only one who helped me," she said. And smiled gently. "I helped because you're you, not for payback." Kate felt something settle inside, like a door closing and another opening to clean air. Kate went back to Mr. Clark's office with a small list in her hand. "I want to take care of my aunt," she said. Mr. Clark nodded. "Tell me how." Kate breathed out. "A monthly amount, steady and private. Enough for medicine, food, and comfort. Not a giant lump sum." He smiled. "We'll create a family trust that pays her every month. No stress, no paperwork for her." Kate added, "And I want to give quietly to people who truly need help. Anonymous gifts." Mr. Clark wrote it down. "We'll build a giving plan that keeps you safe and unseen." They talked through accounts, passwords, and a Dante panic binder. "If anything happens, this binder tells your team what to do," Mr. Clark said, tapping the cover. "You don't owe anyone explanations. Privacy is a choice." Kate nodded. "I'll keep my job a little longer," she said. "I need time to move naturally. No big jumps." Mr. Clark agreed. "Slow is smooth, smooth is fast." On her way out, Kate paused at the door. "One more thing," she said. "If I buy a small house near me for Aunt Anne, simple, wide doors, easy to move around, can we keep that quiet too?" Mr. Clark smiled. "Yes. The trust can own it. She can live there with peace." Kate felt warmth rise in her chest. "Good," she said softly. "That's what I want for her. Peace." That evening, she told Nina everything on the balcony, about the win, the test, and the plan. Nina held her glass and listened without interrupting. "Okay," Nina said at last. "I wish you hadn't tested them. But I see what they showed you. Kate looked out at the streetlights. I needed proof, she said. Now I have it. Nina touched her arm. Then set your lines. Be kind. Be clear. No more carrying people who won't even call you back. Kate nodded. I'm done begging for care. Nina leaned forward. And what about using the money? Kate answered slowly. I'll use it like a tool, not a trophy. First, Anne. Then the foundation we talked about, the one for older people living alone. Nina's eyes softened. That sounds like you, she said. Quiet help. Real help. Kate smiled. It sounds like peace. They rehearsed simple phrases for hard moments. Nina said, try this, I can't do that, but I hope you find what you need. Or, no is my answer, and it won't change. Kate repeated them aloud until they felt natural. One more, Nina added. I do not explain my boundaries. Kate laughed a little. I like that one. The next morning, Kate started calling. I'd like everyone to come by Sunday, she told Mary. I have an update. Mary sounded wary. Is this about money? It's about me, Kate said. She called John and Sarah. She texted Lily and Paul. She tried Jack twice and sent a clear message when he didn't pick up. She even called Helen. Each invite was short, calm, and the same. Sunday. 1 hour. My place. When the last invite was sent, Kate set her phone down and made tea. She wrote a single sentence on a sticky note and pressed it to her fridge. Truth without details. She would not announce her winnings. She would not defend the test. She would not argue. She would speak plainly, then stop. She felt her shoulders loosen. The plan was simple. She could follow simple. On Saturday, she cleaned her small living room. She didn't hide the old rug or the chipped mug on the shelf. She put out water, tea, and plain cookies. She set 2 chairs together near the window for herself and Anne. When Nina stopped by with a bag of lemons, she looked around and smiled. Looks like a town hall, Nina said. Feels like one, Kate replied. They shared a quiet laugh that steadied them both. Sunday came with pale sunlight. One by one, they arrived, Mary with tight lips, Mark checking his watch, John standing straight, Sarah scanning the room, Lily smiling too brightly, Paul nodding like a doctor on rounds, Jack late and breathless, Helen already frowning. And slipped in last and gave Kate a small, secret smile. Kate stood near the window and folded her hands. Thank you for coming, she said in a clear, even voice. I asked you here to talk about what happened when I needed help, and what happens next. Mary shifted in her seat, eyes flicking toward Mark. Kate, what's this really about? She asked. Mark sighed loudly, tapping his watch as if he had somewhere more important to be. Kate kept her voice steady. It's about what happened when I reached out for help. I told everyone the same thing, that I lost my job, that I needed $5,000 to cover rent and medical bills. And I listened to how each of you responded. A quiet hum went through the room. No one expected her to start like this. John leaned forward. If this is about guilt, Kate held up her hand calmly. No. It's about truth. She turned to her father. When I asked you, Dad, you lectured me for 20 minutes. You didn't offer a single dollar or even a kind word. You told me to treat it as a lesson. John straightened. I was trying to teach you responsibility, he said stiffly. You're not a child, Kate replied. And I wasn't asking for a lesson. I was asking for help. Sarah crossed her legs and spoke next. We all have our financial priorities. It's not easy to give money, even to family, she said in her clipped tone. Kate nodded. I understand priorities. But it's funny how those priorities never seem to include me. She turned to Lily. You offered to clear out a storage room. You told me Paul wouldn't allow money to be spent. That told me exactly where I stood. Lily flushed. That's not fair. We have kids. I didn't say it was wrong, Kate interrupted gently. I said it told me something. Jack looked down at his phone. Jack, Kate said. He didn't look up. You didn't answer me at all. Not one call. Not one text. Nothing. After all the times I've helped you. Jack finally glanced up, guilt in his eyes. I didn't have it, Kate. Things were rough. A phone call is free, she said softly. The silence that followed was heavy. Even Helen paused her disapproving frown for a moment. Then Helen cleared her throat. I always said your company was unstable, she began. And now you're blaming us because you didn't plan properly. Kate turned to her slowly. No. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just seeing clearly now. How each of you responds when I'm the one asking instead of giving. Paul shifted uncomfortably beside Lily. Mary opened her mouth, then closed it again. No one had a comeback ready. Kate took a breath and looked around the room. I'm not angry, she said. But I've learned a lot. I've spent years saying yes to help you, money, time, support. And when I asked, most of you disappeared, lectured, or whispered behind my back. That tells me something about our relationships. Mary spoke up then. Kate, that's not fair. It's honest, Kate said, meeting her eyes. Mary looked away and spoke for the first time. Her voice was calm but firm. She's not attacking you, Anne said, glancing around the room. She's telling you what happened. Sometimes the truth is uncomfortable. That doesn't make it wrong. The others shifted uneasily and sat back, folding her hands. Kate felt a warm surge of gratitude toward her. After that, no one had much to say. There were a few muttered excuses, bad timing, misunderstanding. You should have called again, but no one took real responsibility. When the hour ended, Kate stood and thanked them for coming. One by one, they filed out. Mary kissed her cheek with a forced smile. John gave her a stiff pat on the shoulder. Lily gave a half-hearted hug. Jack avoided her eyes. Helen muttered something about drama. Anne stayed seated. When the door finally shut, Kate let out a long breath. You were steady, Anne said quietly. That couldn't have been easy. Kate gave a small smile. It was easier than I thought. I wasn't afraid this time. Anne nodded. Because you weren't asking for their approval anymore. Kate sat beside her aunt, letting the silence settle around them like a soft blanket. The next year changed everything. Kate left her job and moved into a modest, sunlit home with a small garden out back. 3 blocks away, and moved into a single-story house with wide doorways, good light, and no stairs, a home bought through the trust Kate had set up. The neighborhood was quiet, full of trees and kind neighbors. Each morning, Kate walked past Anne's house and waved as and watered her plants. It felt simple. It felt right. Kate's new routine was nothing like her old life. She woke to the sound of birds instead of traffic, brewed coffee without rushing, and spent mornings planning work for her new foundation. She had named it Hearthlight, inspired by the idea of giving warmth and safety to people who were often overlooked, elderly folks living alone with no real support system. It started small, a rented office space, a clear mission, and a few committed volunteers. But Kate's vision was steady. Nina joined the foundation as outreach coordinator. I never thought I'd leave the hospital, Nina said one morning while unpacking boxes. But this feels good. Kate grinned. It's work that matters. They spent their days meeting seniors, arranging home repairs, pairing volunteers with lonely elders, and helping with medical costs. They weren't just handing out money, they were building trust and community. Kate often remembered Anne's quiet generosity when shaping the programs. Hearthlight's impact grew faster than Kate expected. Within 6 months, they had helped over 100 elderly residents with food, bills, companionship visits, and health support. Nina would return to the office with stories that made them both smile. Mr. Green finally fixed his leaking roof, she'd say. Or, Mrs. Taylor cried when volunteers painted her kitchen. These simple acts of kindness filled Kate's heart in a way her accounting job never had. One rainy evening, Kate sat in her office reviewing donation requests. She saw her father's name on a list for hospital patient assistance. John Wilson, heart procedure, outstanding balance. She stared at it for a long time. Then she clicked anonymous payment. She didn't sign a note. She didn't expect thanks. It felt right. Quiet, clean help. The kind she wished she'd received. Months later, she heard through Lily that Ryan had finally entered rehab for his gambling addiction. The cost is crazy, Lily had complained over a holiday dinner. Kate smiled silently, already knowing she'd made an anonymous donation to cover it weeks earlier. She didn't need credit. She just wanted to see real change where it mattered. Kate kept occasional contact with the family, but things had changed. Birthdays meant polite calls, not emotional conversations. Holidays were shorter and quieter. She no longer expected closeness. Lily still complained about renovations. Jack pitched a business idea one afternoon over the phone. It's a sure win, he insisted. Kate listened calmly, then said the words Nina had taught her. No is my answer, and it won't change. Jack was stunned into silence. She hung up gently but firmly. When Mary called asking for help paying for a luxury vacation, Kate said simply, "I can't do that, Mom." There was an awkward silence before Mary replied, "Oh, well, maybe next time." For the first time in years, Kate didn't feel guilty for saying no. She wasn't cruel. She was clear. And clarity was power. One late afternoon, Kate Annan sat on Anne's new porch watching the sunset. "You know what amazes me?" Anne said, wrapping a shawl around her shoulders. "How different this all could have been if you'd told them the truth on day one." Kate nodded slowly. "They would have acted sweet," she said. "But I'd never know who was real." Anne smiled knowingly. "Exactly. The quiet truth is a better mirror than loud money." Kate turned to her aunt. "Money didn't change them, Anne. It showed them." And patted her hand gently. "And it showed you, too." Kate looked at the warm light spilling from Anne's cozy house, the garden she'd planted, the foundation she'd built from a single act of faith and silence. She felt steady in a way she never had before. No fear. No begging for love. Just quiet strength. As a soft breeze moved through the trees, Kate thought about the path she had walked, from the shock of matching lottery numbers to the pain of rejection, to the joy of building something meaningful. She didn't announce her wealth. She didn't buy mansions or luxury cars. She built a life that fit her soul. Houselight thrived. Anne's health improved. Nina stood by her side. Her family stayed at a respectful distance, their masks gently peeled away by truth. Kate finally understood. The greatest gift wasn't the money itself, but the clarity it gave her. And that clarity set her free.